What's up, everyone? How's it going? How's it going? Happy Sunday. How's everyone's weekend going? Yep. If I sneeze a lot in the beginning, I had an allergy attack just start right before this, of course. So I'm waiting for an allergy pill to kick in, but that's why I'm a little stuffy right now. It should kick in any moment now. Anyway, um, yeah, so been working on my signal intelligence lab for my home lab over here. I've decided there's a little room over here, if you didn't realize. It's a little recording booth over there. During COVID, I made a recording booth that my friends and I use to record music and just have a little fun, and it's mostly gone unused, so I'm just going to repurpose it and turn it into a signal intelligence lab for my ham radios, my EMS scanners that I'm planning to get, doing a lot of mesh-tastic and things like that, because it just kind of makes sense to at least do something with it. I think you mean, what are my thoughts on Stratosphere for network analysis? I haven't really dealt with it much. Use GNOME or something else. I use GNOME, which is built into Pop OS. I think, it works plenty fine for what I need. I just need to launch applications and have it get out of my way. I think people focus too much on making their GUI look all riced out and everything like that, but the reality is, you need something to launch your applications. As long as it doesn't interfere with your, workflow or anything, it's fine. Marvel Rivals is to blame for it. Blame for what? What's up, Ember the Wolves? What's up, Vampire? How's it going, buddy? Is KDE Plasma too much in lag system? No, KDE Plasma's fine. I've played with it a little bit too, but when I was playing around with Tuxedo OS on my Tuxedo computer laptop, the new one I got, which came with Tuxedo OS, I was like, let me give this a fair shake, see how it goes. So I came from the world of Mac OS. I was also a Windows user too, but I like the GUI of Mac OS. So one of the reasons why I like Pop OS is it has this Mac-like aesthetic with the bar at the bottom and the launcher and everything. So it just, to me, feels natural. And the problem was with KDE, I couldn't replicate that exact same aesthetic, no matter how much I tried, for 2 or 3 days. I'm like, this is too much work. I'm just going to install Pop OS and get right to the races running what I need, and then just install the Tuxedo Control Center, and then had everything I needed working specifically on that laptop. And that laptop's been great. I've been working with it very well. In fact, it's kind of interesting. I got it with the NVIDIA GPU thinking I would need the NVIDIA GPU for the video rendering I was doing. The videos that I've been actually creating on it, and the most recent one I just finished this afternoon, which will be up tomorrow, I think around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I did that all on the laptop using the AMD Radeon CPU and GPU, the Radeon 780M and the Ryzen 7 8845HS. The only downside is when you're using KDEN Live, apologies, my allergies are killing me right now. The only problem with KDEN Live is when using NVIDIA, you can at least use NVENC to get H.265, so the video compression rate is a lot better, because I was noticing I could get about an hour-long, not an hour-long, about a 10-minute video in about a gigabyte, versus about the same length of video would be 2.7 gigabytes, so the compression was a lot higher. So yeah, easiest solution tends to be the best one. Yeah. Did you try Debian 13 Trixie beta version? No. I haven't had time too much to delve into specific Linux stuff. You have to understand, I've been using Linux since I was first introduced into it when I was 9 years old. So ever since then, it's not like what it used to be, where it was there were these radical things and Linux was developing all the time, and it was literally oh, well, I got to worry about my wireless card and what printer I'm getting. And, you had to hop over all these hurdles to get ATI GPUs working. And then NVIDIA used to be notoriously horrible to work with in Linux. And now it's really changed where everyone's like, "Oh, you can't get your GPU to work." And I'm like, "You just install Pop! OS and it has it, or you just install the NVIDIA proprietary driver, or it's built into AMD, into Linux kernel for AMD." Hey, thank you for the follow, Haplo. How's it going, buddy? I can't find this desktop setup I love from Reddit. Probably is going to end up being someone that spent way too much time on Arch or KDE and riced out their setup or anything. Just play around with it, get what works for you. What network card would you suggest for plug-and-play Linux support? Well, network cards aren't nearly as bad as they used to be. I tend to prefer Intel network interface cards just as a standard because they tend to be pretty performant cards, and if you're using pfSense, you're going to want an Intel NIC anyway, so yeah. Hey, Applo, how's it going? Oh yeah, Blue Sky. I should probably announce that I'm live on the Blue Skies and all that. Because I still got to work on the automatic poster. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. Live now on Twitch. ASU's Realtek card. Oh, Asus Realtek cards drive me crazy. I don't know what the Realtek's running. It's usually I've noticed you have Intel, Atheros, and Broadcom. I know Broadcom can be a pain with those chipset. Anything Atheros or Intel tends to work pretty well on the Intel side of things. I mean, on the Linux side of things. Linux is more modern and optimized than Windows. Well, absolutely, because Windows is still backwards compatible to all of the old stuff. So you can have an argument for and against Windows being backwards compatible, but like they have backwards compatibility to like Windows 95 or 98. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of issues that are still carried over because of that massive backwards compatibility. Whereas Linux, they're not afraid to break compatibility once in a while, but they give you a heads up on how that's going to be. Now, I haven't seen any major breaks since like Linux kernel 2.6 was released to give you an idea how long ago that's been, but how's gaming going? It's going all right. We're just doing the chill out and tech part of the show right now, and then I'll be getting into Path of Exile 2, because apparently they have some nice updates that came about, and I want to see what's going there, even though I just started a new character last week with Monk. I only really play games when I am online, but I'm trying to get my Signal Intelligence Lab together. If you've been in the Discord, you'll see that in the Radiohead's channel, I was talking about ATAC and a few other things. I'm probably going to switch over my preferred Mesh-tastic device. Where is my Mesh-tastic device? I really gotta clean my desk off. I like just cleaned this the other day, and now it's already a mess. Welcome to the world of tech. Here we are. So I use this LilyGo T Echo. Not a bad device, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad device. It gets like 5 miles of range with the additional antenna I put on for Mesh-tastic. But I think what I'm going to do is switch over to, let me see if I can pull it up, the WizMesh. I'm just watching Radiohead is active right now. Yeah, the Radiohead's chat has definitely been a lot more active, especially since I've been sharing what I've been doing in the radio side of things. I'm planning on getting into getting a Hack RF, a PortaPack, and all those kind of things. I may pick those up at DEF CON because they tend to have discounts when you're out there. It's like, what the hell? Why does Microsoft make it difficult to delete Microsoft Edge? Because it's Microsoft. They make money off of your data. No joke, no joke. Seriously, think about it. Why is Microsoft forcing everyone to have to log in, set up your computer with a Microsoft account? I have to test if that works with Microsoft Enterprise. I have my key for Microsoft Enterprise. I still am on Windows 10 Enterprise for this box over here. I haven't updated yet because I just want to take assessment of all my stream tools and everything before I do that, even though it shouldn't really break anything, but you know, Microsoft. Well, it comes down to Microsoft wants to be able to make money off of your data. Like, I want you to think about this critically. Everyone's like, well, I just pirate Windows and I don't activate the key to screw over Microsoft. If you really think you're getting one over on Microsoft, why do you think they don't care? Because they're making money off of your telemetry on your data anyway. Did you know that every time you do a search on your Windows machine, it calls out to Bing? Who owns Bing? Who collects that data? They're building ad profiles on you. That's what it all comes down to. Data is the new oil. It is the new valuable asset that everyone is going after. It's not really the new asset, just kind of what they're doing. Driver, stop the bus, Chief. Funny you mention it. Just got done with setting up dual boot. They got rid of the option to skip adding the account. Yeah. Also, with dual booting, just a heads up, Microsoft once in a while tends to nuke the bootloader that will, like, kill your Linux install. Well, it won't kill your Linux install. It'll just kill the bootloader for your Linux to boot up. So, you have been forewarned. And no, I've tried it on separate disks. It still messes it up. I don't know how. Yeah, Microsoft is a bully on the playground when it comes to this stuff. They got rid of the command that everyone uses, but someone else found another command for local accounts. Well, yeah. Here's the thing. They can never get rid of that function entirely because enterprise users still aren't always guaranteed to be on a Microsoft account. There is different business models that require that you do not use a Microsoft account to tie it in. Or some businesses are still dependent upon Active Directory domains and aren't transitioned over to Intune or have no intention to. They may at most do a hybrid model with Azure, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they're never going to get rid of that. The honest truth is what I tell people all the time. Just get a pro version of Windows anyway. I think this applies to the pro version. Because if you get the pro version, then you get Hyper-V, and that's going to be useful for a lot of your virtual machines. You get a Type 1 hypervisor, which is a lot better than VirtualBox. I rock enterprise versions of Windows because when I used to work at an MSP, we had a Windows 7 enterprise key, which works for Windows 10, and it'll probably work for Windows 11. Well, it does. I actually tested it out. And I just keep using that key, and they're okay with me using it as long as I don't give it out. Just some games work way better on Windows, like Monster Hunter Wilds and Star Citizen. Star Citizen has a native Linux installer. But the honest answer I would give you is, games aren't that important. If you want to actually see change done in the gaming industry, then you have to be the change, and sometimes that means a little sacrifice. So I'll just play all my games on Linux and say F it. I use Pro or Enterprise. It's easier to deal with. Yeah, that's what I tell people. If you have to use Windows, just use Pro or Enterprise. Makes a lot more sense. I've not had any issues with games in years. I haven't either, unless it's a kernel-level anti-cheat issue. But at that point, I wouldn't want to install that game on Windows, period. Kernel-level anti-cheat just rubs me the wrong way from an ethical and philosophical standpoint. I don't believe any sort of entertainment software should have root-level access like that. Like, I've had that view since Sony was installing rootkits when you're playing their music CDs. Yes, that was a thing. That was a thing, if you aren't familiar with what I'm talking about. There was a whole lawsuit when I was a kid. Only issue is modding sometimes, but I've nailed Nexus mods 99.9%. You'll have to share that info with us in the Discord, because I haven't gotten too much into it. Yeah, the Sony BMG copy protection rootkit scandal. Y'all remember this? The CD contains XCP content protection technology. Yeah, that. Yeah, Sony got sued for this. Removal tool they even had to release a removal tool to remove the rootkit component. Yeah, it was Anyone got in TikTok Studio working in Linux? No. Just use OBS Studio with a plugin. If you get a live agent, you can get them to get you a stream key, which is what I do. It works pretty well. Thing with Rufus is that I flashed Windows ISO, so it let me set up a local account. Huh. I haven't used Rufus in years. What about Battle.net Blizzard games? I played Overwatch and Blizzard and all that really easily. You if you use Lutris, they have an installer to get Blizzard.net and all that working. It was no issue. And then I think on Steam I have Diablo 4 and all that. I think. Yeah, on Steam. Hopefully I'll release a native Linux next mods tool soon. Yeah, they've been teasing a Linux version for a while. It would be awesome to get a Linux native version because I would love to play Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5 with some mods a little bit easier. I've managed to add some mods in, but I was using Elder Scrolls 3 with the Open Morrowind engine to do a lot of that. And so was the XBMC mod chip thing. Man, I remember XBMC. Remember Xbox Media Center? I still have a Kodi box upstairs, and I still refer to it as XBMC a lot of times because, yeah. If you use Hero, you can get epic games on Linux. Yeah, I use a Heroic Launcher for Rocket League and what's the other game that I play? BioShock. Yeah, BioShock. I've gotten here from GOG. Fall Guys. Yeah, Rocket League. Yeah, I use Heroic Launcher for a few things. I'm playing heavily modded Fallout 4 and Skyrim. SOH, what's SOH? And Stardew, for example. Yeah. I use it for my GOG games, and I have BioShock too. Yeah, I don't know how I have BioShock. I think it might have been some kind of a promo or something, or somebody gifted it to me, because I have BioShock in my Steam. How can you mod games on Linux just like on Windows? Well, a lot of mods really are just dropping files into the right folder. So all Nexus mods and a lot of other mod managers are doing is just tracking all those different files, similar to like a Git version control system. So all you have to do is extract those files into the right folder. And seeing as Proton is just a compatibility layer using Wine, DXVK, and I think a couple other tools to interpret the calls, you just have to modify the files in the same way as you would Windows. That's all you have to do. So there's nothing, extravagant about it. Now, there are some mods that depend on certain executables, like body customizers, something like that, when I was using, CBBE and stuff like that in Skyrim. Those might require some Windows tools in addition to generate the files, but all in all, it's the same concept. Can you use Steam VR to play VR on PC on Linux? Yeah, Steam, the whole Steam VR console, all that, they have it running natively on Linux. Anything Valve has done, they have made sure they have native Linux support. Period. Now, I'm not big into VR. I have no space for it. I have enough tinkering around my house, and I'm not that much of a fan of VR. But I did look into it, and if you get the Valve Index, I think it is, yeah, you can have it work on Linux, no problem. It's just a matter of, yeah. BioShock was free once on Epic. I think that might have been it. I wish I had time to game. I've been too busy learning to code and read binary and beyond. The only time I honestly game is when I'm on stream. That's the only time I honestly game. The rest of the time, I'm tinkering with lots of different technology and everything. Right now, I'm trying really hard to focus. I've been trying for several weeks now to study for my ham general because I want to get amateur extra license eventually. I've been getting more and more into radio. So if you haven't been in the Discord, you'll see there's a Radioheads channel, and that's where we talk about all kinds of radio. So I'm planning to get into covering all kinds of different radio content and everything. And then I will be using I've got like 4 different ham HT handheld setups. I've got the Baofeng UV5R, the 5RH, the TID Radio H3, the H8, and then I'm planning to set up that room over there with a ham setup. Like I had an entire circuit installed for power like a year or two ago when I redid this whole basement. So I can have a ham radio set up in there. I want to get ideally at least 1,000 watts if I can eventually, but I have to work up my licensing and everything to get that up. But I can find at least 100 watt transceivers very easily. I might start out with like a inexpensive 25, 50 watt a transceiver that I can actually move between the house and the car. I've been getting into GMRS as well as ham radio for the past, couple of months or so. Well, a few months. I gotta remember what the the calls are. I know CQ is the call sign. Oh, yeah, QRP, low power transmitting. Yeah, that's this. Silly question, what all can you do with a ham radio? A lot. So you can actually use ham radio to talk to people around the world. There's contesting. There's all sorts of different ways you can do communication. So a lot of what I'm doing, honestly, is in the event of a disaster. Think tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires. Think situations where you may have a situation, traditional communications are down. And that's what I'm trying to plan for. I'm actually working to coordinate with my family. So it's like, hey, let's get these radios. Let's communicate in case of this happening. All of these. Now, with ham radio, it's very easy to, well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's very inexpensive to get into to start. But once you get into ham radio and you learn a lot about it, it can be a very expensive hobby. Some of these transceivers I've looked at are like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 units. I don't think I'm going to get to that level. I'm probably going to do the few $100 ones, but yeah. What type of gadget did you build yourself? A lot. You got to be a little bit more specific. I mean, I have this little Heltec V3 Meshtastic device over here. Oh, there's the battery. Right? Looking for that over there. Battery. I've made a few different devices. I've also hacked together this little laptop over here. This is a custom aluminum backplate I did to improve the cooling on this laptop. Now I'm using the radio knowledge that I've created so that eventually I'm going to open this up and install the Wi-Fi TAN antenna in here when I have some time. I've just been tinkering with a bunch of other things, and I just made another YouTube video this afternoon, which will be up 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, primarily talking about the tariffs and how they're going to affect everything inside of tech and all that. But yeah. Do you really need to go to college for IT and cybersecurity? So it's funny you say that. Short answer, no. Better answer, I already recorded a YouTube that's going to be out sometime next week. I just got to edit it. That's actually going to touch on that point. Let me see if I can remember what the title is that I wrote down for it. One second. I shared it on Blue Sky earlier because I'm too lazy to open my laptop, which is, well, it's not lazy, but my laptop's upstairs and I don't want to go upstairs and grab that and, why your cybersecurity resume gets ignored. The long-form Signalgate video is good. Yeah, that was a great video. That took a lot of planning and work. Like, I was working on that script Probably, I'd say a good 20 hours I put into the script that went into that planning. This teleprompter that I added, along with the upgraded camera behind it, I think has been one of the best investments, um, with the lighting being second in terms of my overall production value, if we don't count, like, computers and everything like that, because that's kind of a given. Um, I'm using, what is the Sony ZV-E10 camera, which works pretty well. Have it piped through an Elgato capture card, and then I have 3 Elgato key lights, 2 Airs, and a Mini, and, yeah, don't expect me to make hour-long videos again like that for a long while. That was a rare situation of, I needed to talk about Signalgate, but I knew there would be a lot of whataboutisms of people saying, well, what about Obama's BlackBerry? What about Hillary Clinton's, emails? And I had to go into Trump's Mar-a-Lago files incident, Signalgate 1, Signalgate 2, because this is actually the second Signalgate issue we had. In 2017, there was a Signalgate issue before, and a lot of people forgot about that. And it was funny when I took the clips that one of my mods, sliced up the video to, and I put them on TikTok. There were already a few people, particularly in the MAGA crowd, well, only really the MAGA crowd, that were like hating on me for talking about it and saying I shouldn't talk about politics. And I'm like, it's not politics. It's cybersecurity about politicians. And I hold everyone in politics, and I think everyone that's seen my streams, seen my content long enough knows when it comes to cybersecurity, I hold everyone to the same standard when it comes to your operational and cybersecurity practices. I have no sacred cows. For Windows encryption, should I use Veracrypt? It's an option. So when it comes to Windows, the honest truth is you're not going to have as robust as a system as, say, Linux, where Linux we have Lux. In Windows, what you want to use is BitLocker for your encrypted file system for at rest. But then you can containerize different files into Veracrypt. And I like Veracrypt. I use it for my files on Windows and Mac and Linux when I'm transferring files between them in a encrypted container. But it doesn't fully encrypt the file system like TrueCrypt did back in the day with Windows XP. TrueCrypt is the predecessor to Veracrypt. Veracrypt became the fork of it. Just because Windows XP didn't have a encrypted file system, but they had a way to hook in a kernel driver. It's really interesting how they did it as an open source software. But with Windows these days, you want to use BitLocker. Now, the interesting thing to note about BitLocker is the key by default will upload to your Microsoft account. Now, I understand why some people, why they would do that, because some people will lock themselves out and not know where to get the key. But if you don't like that feature, you need to disable it. So Windows encryption works differently than Linux Lux encryption. Conceptually, they're the same, but the way they're architected is different. They're both at-rest full disk encryption systems. So, like in Linux, it just has enough things decrypted to boot the operating system. Same thing as BitLocker. But, yeah. What's up, Jartsinator? How's it going? I like Lux a little bit better, though. That's just how it is, because I think what was it? I can't remember. Was BitLocker? No, it wasn't BitLocker was bypassed. The TPM was, which could then bypass BitLocker by virtue of taking advantage of the TPM, whereas Lux doesn't depend on the TPM. Microsoft is making all these hardware-specific requirements that you must have, like TPM and all that, which was it TPM and UEFI were two big pushes from Microsoft to have. And those, in my opinion, have actually stepped us back in security. I don't like TPMs because it's a little additional piece of hardware you attach into your system that sometimes is black boxed by how people operate things. Whereas Lux, you can have your own key and you can tie it to a YubiKey, or that's a little bit more open-ended of a system. And then with UEFI, even Google, I remember a few years ago when I was reading an article, like I couldn't find the article when I was looking it up because it was so many years ago. They actually started deploying their own server hardware with old-fashioned BIOS because of the issues they were finding. When setting up VeraCrypt encryption, every time you restart the computer, will first ask you to enter in the password to decrypt some data to boot into Windows. Do they do that on Windows? I haven't played with the VeraCrypt full disk encryption. But Windows can easily break that in an update. I've seen them do it. It turned out that when the price of the Nintendo Wii is adjusted for inflation, it's about the same as it costs as the Switch 2. Doesn't surprise me. Inflation has gone up. Am I cooked? I decided to write my thesis about Fediverse in my primary language, Finnish. I think it'll be a nice, interesting topic for a thesis. I just think that you're in for a ride, but I think it's doable. So, thesis. Masters? You going for masters, if I'm not mistaken? Correct me if I'm wrong. It shows the full encryption, which is possible. Why? Full partition. Because there's none in Finnish. Yeah, so tariffs definitely made it more expensive. Well, you heard that the Nintendo Switch 2 is having pre-orders delayed because of the tariff uncertainty. So here's the thing. And I call this out in the video that'll be out tomorrow. Trump has zero clue how the international global supply chains work. He is in real estate. He knows land. He knows F all about the supply chain of getting the building supplies to his real estate project beyond what the cost is. And half the time, he doesn't apparently pay his bills anyway. Not master's, but bachelor's degree. That's translation. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't have a bachelor's either. So, I went to school for being an electrician. And then I decided, you know what? I don't like ladders. I like air conditioning. Let's get professionally into IT and then cybersecurity. I'll have that all covered in the upcoming video, too. Musk couldn't convince Trump to lay off the tariffs. Of course not. You're already seeing the cracks form with Musk and everything, but funnily enough, he already did enough damage to his brand. I'm looking... It'll be interesting to see. I think it's April 22nd is the quarterly earnings report for Tesla. And they've already released some numbers on the amount of vehicles delivered, and it's down. It's not going to look good for Tesla. And we already have people coming out saying that the Cybertruck is one of the biggest flops, if not the largest flop, in all of automotive history since the Edsel. Like, it's really bad. Tariffs can work paired with good social safety net policy and huge investments in the same industries, not just by themselves. Well, not the system that Trump has, tariff-wise. And usually when you have tariffs, you have an on-ramp or a lead-out. So it'll be like, hey, we're going to be imposing tariffs. This is what it's looking like in maybe 12 months, 18 months. You don't just slam it on and say, we're doing tariffs right now. Can't believe people spent $120,000 on Cybertrucks. I can't believe it either. And this is where Elon Musk is such a con man. Do you remember the price that he was advertising would be the initial floor price for a Tesla base model? Does anyone remember this? Because I do. I've been joking about it with my friends, and I know the original price. Bobby was closest at $40,000. $39,990 was apparently the original MSRP. That was the original floor model price. Now, at $40,000, you'd say, yeah, it's still a little bit of an expensive car, but it's not that expensive. You could by far spend more money on a Jeep, on a lot of these Toyotas and all those other trucks. Like, hell, I remember the Toyota 4Runner I think I was looking at. I was looking at $70K for a fully loaded Toyota 4Runner. If Elon and Trump started a convention, would it be ConCon? GriftCon? SheistCon. I wanted to like my cybersecurity course I had, but holy crap with the cryptography, too much for me. Yeah, cryptography was a big part of the CISSP as well, and it was a little confusing for me too. Cryptography, here's the thing about cryptography. You're not going to need most of that in cybersecurity. Well, let me explain. The specificity and specifics they have about cryptography in your course, you're not going to need to know that. Because you're going to be referring to industry standards most of the time. In the USA, we refer to NIST. So there's probably an equivalent over out in the EU. I'm not familiar with that off the top of my head. But yeah, it would be like, okay, we use this for that, this for this compliance and all that. And by the time, you learn a lot of this, these standards may change. Have you heard the story about EA and how they sent letters to actors to sign a paper which gave EA permission to use AI to clone your voice if you want to keep the voice acting job, but it backfired on EA as all voice actors quit? I did not! But holy crap, EA! Best mesh-tastic device under $30. Well, it's not under $30 as the total kit. But these Heltec V3s are all right. You can get these boards for like $12 or so. And then all you need is an antenna and a battery and a case. I've been playing with this for a while. Now, the one I'm looking at, let me show you. This is the one I'm looking at getting, because I'm actually looking at doing ATAC. I'll show what that is in a sec. All right, let's see. Products. Hold on. Yeah. I hate these little stupid, I think it was the Whiz block. No. I hate how, stupid websites let you, like, when you hover over them, they, like, have the menu disappear until it's, like, fully loaded. Whoever designed this needs to be smacked. Hold on, was it the Wiz node? No. Hold on. Let me show you what it's, what I'm talking about. Okay, now it's deciding to actually want to work with me. Was it the Wiz block? It was this little guy, but they had a whole self-contained unit. Or we'll go to the store. Maybe they have it there. Okay, so LoRaWAN. I think it was N devices. So it's not the Wiz block kit 2, although I want to get that too and stick it outside my house. There was another unit I came across. God damn it. Is it the modules? It's using one of these boards. But that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, here. I think it was just under the Mesh-tastic section. It used to be under there, but they moved it. Yeah, the WizMesh Pocket V2. That's what I was looking at. So I'm looking at picking up one of these, which is a self-contained unit with everything that I was looking to do anyway. And then tie it in with some other gateways and all that stuff. But the reason why I want to go to this is it's a little bit self-contained compared to the stuff I'm using in a more rugged enclosure. But nice size battery. And of course I can upgrade the antenna But this, do they have it in the specs? Yeah, this has a GPS built in. So I was going to use this to replace my LilyGo T Echo because this doesn't have GPS built in. Now, why would I want to use GPS? Because I'm looking at eventually setting up ATAC. So basically what I can do is I can pair this to my Android phone, and then I can actually overlay this with other information. So imagine while I'm hiking, I can get a drone. I can, use other photography, stuff like that to overlay and put in imagery so I can actually have the ability for 3D geospatial models and everything. So imagine if you are in, first responder situation, hunting, fishing, ornithology, apparently, or a wildlife survey. You can do this with some open source tools. So that's kind of what I'm looking at playing with as part of my signal intelligence little home lab that I'm trying to build as well. What's chat going on about? I have to ask, is Popular OS your favorite? Yeah, it's my favorite for my daily driving of what I need when I'm not using cubes. And on this little guy over here, I'm using a Debian Unstable over here because it's got some of the different drivers and everything. I'm still tinkering with the MNT Pocket Reform. Cryptography is hugely active as a field, but only if one's super deep into abstract maths. Yeah. I worked in the AI and crypto research team at Bitdefender. Wild how fast the field moves. Oh, yeah. But in terms of like most of the cybersecurity jobs out there, you're not going to need to know about the cryptography except for the standards out there and the difference between symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. At least in my experience. I didn't, something like that happened to Black Ops Zombies voice actors. What obscure wrote, wait, what? Yeah. EA, it's in the money. Right now I'm learning cryptography in Python for a cybersecurity class. Close topic they're working on right now is holomorphic neural networks, wild field. And so far going down to shifting the individual bits is tedious, but I am a beginner. Yeah, you can do a lot of that. I remember when we had to do one-time pads and things like that from a CISSP course and stuff like that. And it was a bit much, to say the least. Can't wait to actually get my first cybersecurity job. Right now, I'm about to graduate with my AS. Yeah. I will have a video coming out soon, probably this week, that'll help you out. It's called, I talked about it just a little while ago. It's called, I forget the exact name. God, I just had it pulled up. Oh, yeah. Why your cybersecurity resume gets ignored. So, there's some hard truths in there you're going to have to learn that I actually address. And I'm coming at it from the perspective as someone who's been in the field for 10 years, IT and cybersecurity professionally, no college degree. And the only cert I got was last year, and my first cert was CISSP. My second cert that I'm looking to get this year is CCSP after I finish some of my ham studies. And my third cert that I'm looking to get is work is looking to earmark it so I can go after the OSCP. Yeah, I know that's going to be a little bit of, yeah. Are you A+ certified? No. Never got any other cert except CISSP. And yeah, after you've been in the field, so this is what I try to tell people all the time. Certs are not everything. Experience matters more. Best projects to get into cybersecurity. So if you go on the Discord, actually, here, I'll show you this. If you go in the Discord, HBX was kind enough to share a really great PDF, which I have pinned to the top. He made it on, shared it on February 28th. It's a 14.5 megabyte PDF that has all these different labs in there to learn about all different concepts from virtualization, hardware considerations with it, setting up different labs, like talking about Sims, PF Sense, playing with Kali, as a pen testing, although I use Parrot OS for my stuff daily on a dedicated laptop. Sims, intruder prevention systems, like this is a 14.5 megabyte PDF, about 600 pages or so. Yeah. Only get certs if you do government contracts that require it. Two, you have zero experience, and all entry levels ask for IT, or three, your job is paying for it. Yep, my job's paying for my certs, which is why I got certs. It merely was a situation of my coworkers like, I want to go for CISSP, and I leaned over in the middle of the meeting, and I just looked at my boss, and I'm like, can I get in on that too? And he's like, sure. I took a class with my coworker, and we both passed CISSP within a month of each other. He got the CCSP way before I did. I'm going to get my CCSP. Hopefully I'll take the test right after DEF CON, or sometime after. My goal is to get it done this year, and then start planning for the OSCP next year, because that's going to take a little bit of effort and dedication. How did you get with any certs and no degree? Did you get a lucky chance? Home labbing. That's what helps. Home labbing, blogging about my different things, having a GitHub to talk about the things I've been tinkering with, and networking in person. I go over all this in the YouTube video. Everyone focuses too much on the certs and thinks, oh, I'm going to get a college degree and I'm going to go straight into a cybersecurity job. No, you won't. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's improbable. But most of the people I know that ended up in a cybersecurity job straight out of college were because they networked and they met someone. With me, I was already working in IT professionally for several years and did networking, did firewalls, did servers, desktop, end user support in a managed service provider, and then did a lot of home labbing with my firewall and everything like that, and taught myself a lot of what I know. I didn't go to college for any of this. I didn't get certs for any of this. Your general goal is to be able to build a career in pen testing. Pen testing is even harder to break into than getting a blue team job. There's far more blue team jobs out there than there is penetration testing on the red team. And most of the people I know that break into that field have been on the blue team side for many years. And as I talk about this in the upcoming YouTube video, I tell everyone it's like yin and yang. Good pen testers, no blue team. So in order to be a good blue teamer, you have to know a little red team, and to be a good red teamer, you have to know a little blue team. How hard is it to be a sysadmin? It's work. Just like anything, it's a matter of applying yourself and learning a lot of the concepts and, getting your hands dirty. My Bitdefender role, they did a grad course and I missed the sign-up deadline. I showed up anyway. And I was like, oh, well, I totally missed the registration date. Can I still sit around and listen? They were shocked. Yeah, that's kind of the attitude a lot of people want to have. Because the thing is, I tell everyone, like, you can't treat cybersecurity and IT like it's a 9-to-5 job. I tell people, like, okay, great. You got your job in IT and cybersecurity. Now you need to dedicate 10 to 20 hours per week of your personal time to improving your craft. And that doesn't mean that you're always home labbing. It means you're studying the news on the changes and everything that's happening in the industry. You are tinkering with different things. You are networking in different groups, whether it be B-Sides, ISSA, DEF CON, you name it. 10 to 20 hours a week will get you very far. And the biggest thing I see everyone overlook whenever they're talking about how to get a job in cybersecurity is that you need the soft skills of communication. You need to put yourself out there and network. And there's this huge misnomer that, oh, I'm in IT or cybersecurity. I can be an introvert, just stay in my cube and not have to deal with anyone. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're going to have to not only, network to help find the job and, know how to communicate and everything like that, and go to different cybersecurity conventions and tech, events and meetups and all of that stuff. When you are in your job, you need to go around and communicate with all the different teams. In my job, I know the people, not only in cybersecurity, with GRC and ops and architecture, but I know the IT side for who does a lot of the EUT, a lot of the server deployments and, the phone systems and, legal and, all these different people. I have to interact with all these different people. And most times when people are like, I'm not advancing in my career, it's because you're not going out and networking and you're not meeting everybody. And the relationships that you build inside and outside of your workplace are what's going to benefit you, either to find and find new ways to advance your career. Yeah, IT is a customer service field. You need people skills. You don't just play with computers. Yep. Just get an LLC and forget applying to jobs. Wrong. Still going to need to communicate. And here's the thing. I see this all the time. Red teamers that don't know jack about enterprise. I see it all the time where red teamers go in and they think they're a hot shot and everything. And I'm like, okay, how would you defeat a zero trusted system? How would you handle network segmentation or a lot of these different things that go on? Because they focus too much on the fancy exploit, and I'm like, that'd be defeated easily. That'd be defeated in this way. It's like there's a lot more that goes into it than just, oh, there's this. After 2 years of job searching, I'm doing cybersecurity awareness training. Yeah. I know this one gal that does this one niece thing. Who? I'm confused. On the best way to network, facilitate opportunities and networking for others. Yep. I always tell everybody, in order to be a good friend, you have to be able to service others. And it's the same thing with business networking. Build a Rolodex of communication, of, contacts and everything. And then when you meet somebody, it's like, oh, let me connect you with this person. Let me connect you with that person. And I got to know when I was an MSP and I was doing business development for them, I confused. I'm Red Fang. Dad joke. Really? Where was I going with this? Crap. Oh yeah, networking others. On average, giving 7 to 8 leads would lead back to 1 lead for me. So you just have to network with people, listen for what they're looking for, and then before you know it, you're at this one meeting. Hey, this one person could really use your services, or, they're looking for that one thing. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a tech thing. It could be, hey, I was at a business networking thing. I met this electrician. They can do that. Hey, now I have a good connection for an electrician. Here you go. Connect them with that. Oh, you need a low voltage cabling guy? I know this person or that person. I still have a lot of these connections to today. Like, I have a financial planner I've used for years. I still refer him out all the time, and some people thank me so much for the financial planner lead that eventually they call me back in a year or two, whatever, and they have something of an opportunity or whatever for me. Rolodex, you mean a Pokedex? Ban! Ban!
Emotional, damn it!
What are best tips for documenting and progress management for your home labs? Really, it's just a matter of documenting your own thing and what you're trying to do with your goals and everything. When you're doing, like, your home labs, a lot of it should just be, like, journal it. This is what I learned today. This is what happened. These were the issues I came across. This is how I addressed it. This is what I actually was able to take away from it. Those kind of little things go very far. And you can, throw it in through ChatGPT or another LLM and have it clean it up a little bit more for a blog post for you. You'd be surprised how well a blog with all these different things on a free WordPress or Ghostery or whatever and linking it to your resume along with your GitHub goes farther as a newbie into the field than anything. Yep, there you go. Use ChatGPT to make your help you make documentation. I still do that for Confluence at work. Admittedly, there's certain things I don't put into ChatGPT for obvious reasons. I have a local LLM on my laptop using LM Studio to do that. Why is Kali more popular than Parrot? Well, simple is because offensive security maintains Kali, and you have a bunch of people that don't read the documentation on how the thing's supposed to be used. Kali's not really meant to be a bare metal OS. You can use it as one, but you shouldn't. It's not really designed for that. Parrot OS is. It's the same problem as Tails. Everyone hears of Tails, and then the problem is if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's the problem you have with both of these things. My own server running LLM and Obsidian and network. Yeah, each their own. I don't have those resources, so I just run it locally. Just get it out of your brain onto digital paper. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just info dump it. Have ChatGPT these days clean it up. When I had my old blog, which is now nuked and all that, because it was a really crappily designed blog that I did years ago, and I just said, I know I gotta write articles for my own stuff, but these days, I'm making YouTube videos, I'm doing TikToks, and that's another thing you can do. You don't have to necessarily do a blog per se. You can do a vlog. I used to use TikTok as that vlog, and believe it or not, I shared my TikTok to a couple of my past employers, and that's how they learned that I did all this technology and everything. Back in the day, we had to manually push buttons to build and send packets over TCP/IP. Back in my day, we used to send the IP packets over Pigeon Messenger. 1 and 0 at a time. What is the worst Linux? I don't understand that question. There's not a worst Linux. There's just ones that just don't fit your flow. It's not like Windows where it just sucks. Back in my day, we hacked you using AOL. You got malware. I'm sorry. You do that right. Wow. You got malware. You know they did that in Africa, but with an ad card? Wait, what? What's up, Seekney? Back in my day, we could fix our broken tech. Yeah, I really hate how disposable and e-waste filled with technology we've become. I really hate that. I would trade my sleek Pixel and iPhone for a more modular repairable phone that would be a little bit more bulky as long as I could have the same capability. I think the Fairphone's probably the closest compromise we'll be able to get to that. But the Fairphone's not really, like, shipping properly in the US. Like, you can get it here, but yeah, there's no perfect solutions. And now, with the tariffs, the Fairphone ain't gonna be that cheap. Daily driving a PinePhone Pro at the moment. I haven't been able to, get that as a daily driver to work with my PinePhone. Where is my PinePhone? Wait. Yeah, I got my Librem 5 I tried out over here. I've got my Pine phone over here. Yeah. So I've tried both of these, and I ended up just going to the Pixel with Graphene OS alongside my iPhone. I was gonna go think about getting a Pixel 10 this summer and look at moving away from the iPhone entirely, but effing Cheeto Man ruined it with the tariffs. Because I'd have to get the not only the Pixel, but probably the Pixel Watch 3 with LTE. Where do you source electronics parts now? It's still a mix of AliExpress and Amazon, depending on what I need, and eBay. That's not going to change. What's going to change is my freaking costs. There's no alternative that you can really source a lot of it through. There's also DigiKey. But that's still like... And everything's going to go up no matter what. As a U.S. based person. I should get fair phones at mobile providers shops unlocked. Oh, nice. I wonder if they can do that in Portugal, because I'll probably be in Portugal again at some point. Now, what I do want to try making it out to at some point is the Chaos Communication Conference. I've heard so many great things about that. Like, it's the DEF CON of the EU. That looks interesting. Don't know if I'm ever going to make it out that way at some point in the near future, but I do want to look at it. The other thing I'm playing with the idea of is possibly going to TwitchCon. There's a big question mark around that one. DEF CON is more likely going to happen. DEF CON and B-Sides. Those are more likely going to happen. There's big question marks around that as well. But it's not a big question mark. It's more a small question mark. There's tiny little details I'm still trying to work out. But yeah. Hope in New York. Not familiar with that. What Linux do you main? I mainly do Pop OS for my daily, and then I have Cubes OS as my security operating system I use on my Purism Librem 14. That's another thing. I need to get a new Cubes laptop because I don't need to, but I want to, because my Purism Librem 14 is getting to be a little bit old, and it's about time. So I've been looking at getting a Nova custom laptop, but that's based in the EU. So I would be tariffed 20%. You ever poked around Arch? Yes. But, you know, the problem is, I grew up with parents that actually loved me, even if they were a bit, you know, with the screw loose. So that kind of is an impediment in terms of my time investment I wanted to do on that, and it kept breaking on me. And I also didn't want to be did you go to Hamfest in Columbus yesterday? No, I had wasn't able to drive out that way. I had stuff to do. I think there's a Hamfest though out in Dayton though. That's happening around May. I'm looking at that. I may be out that way. I didn't even know there was one. I didn't find out about it until it was a little too late. When people are like, hey, are you going out there? I'm like, no, I already made other plans. I love how they think spray painting cars will make Elon lose money. Yeah, I don't get that aspect of things. Because the thing is, well, the spray painting isn't what's gonna, you know, make him lose money. They're just gonna make him pay money when they actually have to go to Tesla body shops to get that repaired. If you want to make Elon lose money, just ruin the brand reputation of Tesla. Oh, wait, he did that all himself with his little, how do you do salute. Notice I used the wrong hand for that. And, yeah. I gave it the, my pretty ring effect. But, yeah. I find it funny that he, effed around and now he's finding out. Someone will mirror the video, will make it look like you did it. Wait, what? Oh, mirror my video. Tesla became unbuyable straight after the employee sharing video sharing scandal. Wait, what? Let me gather this straight correctly before I dive into this. I'm thinking the videos that Tesla was recording, employees were accessing and sharing around, correct? I can't wait to get my electric Dacia or Volkswagen as my first car. So I'm actually looking at the Tello truck as a possible first EV for me. But I really want a BYD or a Xiaomi, but we can't get those in the US. It makes it so much more stressful to own the car and floods the secondhand market, making them even more worthless. It also makes it cheaper to buy secondhand instead of new. Yeah, but would you even want to buy a Tesla secondhand? Knowing all the quality control issues and everything, reputation aside. Those BYDs are tricked out for the prices. Oh yeah, they're really nice. I got to ride in them a few times when I was in Portugal for Ubers, and I fell in love. Like for 42K, they have a lot of tech in there. Oh. Tesla workers shared sensitive images recorded by customer cars. This was 2 years ago. That's fun. Yeah, that'll convince me to never want to get a Tesla. So where's Tesla at right now, stock-wise? I know everything's down. Let's see, what's it at right now? Ooh. In one day, it went down 10.5%. Thank you for the follow, Schmooding. Ooh. You're officially now at the point where, like, you have to pull back 6 months, and it's still down 0.58%. Year to date, you'd have to pull it back an entire year to show any gains. In terms of 5 years, yeah, it's still, like, up massively, but I think its price 5 years ago is still too high. Should read about the futures market today. Tomorrow is not going to be pretty. Let's see. You talking about for Tesla or the overall market? I wonder when the loans he got will default and force him to sell. So I heard, this is something I was reading through like Blue Sky or something. I can't remember the articles and the sources I was reading. So do not quote me on this. But I heard that if it goes below $114, Elon may get margin called enough that it will actually start a domino effect for him. But yeah. What CNN article? Oh, that? Okay, let me see. Copy. It's not as simple as me clicking your link because I'm using a little plugin on the Chromium to bring the chat in from TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Japan's Nikkei plunges at least 8% after open. Eesh. Yeah, I've already known people that apparently have had 50% wiped out in their 401ks because of some of their positions. I'm meeting with my financial planner in a couple weeks. Um, because apparently there's a way he can do a self-directed brokerage account inside of my 401k to better manage the assets. Um, so yeah. Now, the great news is, let me put it this way. If you are older right now and you are dependent upon your 401k, like you're just around your late 50s, you're looking at retirement, yeah, this is horrible. But if you're a millennial like me, early to mid 30s, maybe late 40s, late 30s, um, as my financial planner was telling me when I was like, should I consider moving into bonds or what? And he's like, don't worry about it. Your financial outlook is so far out right now that at this point, take advantage of the market dipping, and in 5 years, you'll be in a better position. Basically, he explained, I forget the ins and outs of it, but he's like, it's going to suck in the short term, but in the long term, we will be fine. So, I guess that is one silver lining. That is assuming the dollar isn't doomed as a reserve currency, which, to be honest, I really think it is. Here's the thing, doggo. As much as I don't like the idea of the US dollar being the reserve currency and I'm more of a fan of the gold-backed currency, what alternative is there, really? I want you to think about that. The euro, with the entire eurozone, has a lot of uncertainty with it. The Chinese yuan has a lot of questions around it. The Russian ruble, not really looking like a solid alternative either. And I know you might be looking at the combination of BRICS and everything like that, but here's the thing. That is such a loose alliance of different countries that it's not really a solid, vehicle. That once they start, having issues geopolitically with each other, it gets destabilized. All in all, considering what the U.S. is going through, this is mild compared to what a lot of other countries have gone through in political uncertainty. Yeah, it'll take a long time. I don't think it will be, it would have to be something that happens before Trump, but Trump only has what? God damn, let me check this. How many days and months until January 20th, 2028 or 2029? 45 months, 2 weeks. I can make the same argument of U.S. states at the moment. Not really. The U.S. states are totally different because the interstate commerce inside the United States is totally different than inside of the European Union, which is, in respect, a federation that has had people leave. Like, you had the UK leave EU. For a state to leave the United States, well, it hasn't been attempted since 1865, and it's unlikely to happen because while everyone's like California would be the largest economy and all that, the interconnectivity between the states, it's just not realistic to happen. Now, I did learn there's something very interesting. Alberta, Canada, is looking at like, I'm not joking. This took me this was like from the left field. Alberta's considering joining the US. They're apparently like the Texas of Canada. I forgot the specifics of it. But yeah, there's a whole idea of Alberta wanting to possibly leave, and they're actually doing polling over this. Which is kind of weird. That's Daniel Smith. Look, as I said, I don't know the specifics. I just saw that it came across. I didn't look too much into it, but apparently it's a thing. Like, I don't get it. But yeah. AB has been separatist for decades. Yeah, and on the flip side of the coin, you know how bad it is when you want Quebec, to actually recognize themselves as Canada? Trump has pushed Quebec to recognize themselves as Canadian. Alabama needs a friend at the beginning of the alphabet, to be fair. Quebec, not Quebec. I don't know. My French Moroccan family would probably argue. I like the Tello truck, but no bidirectional charging. I don't need bidirectional charging. There's only one bi that charges up everyone else. That'd be me. So Puerto Rico watching while Greenland and Alberta become states before it. You heard that Vance had to cancel his trip because not a single person in Greenland would give him hospitality. What you drinking? Portuguese Vinho Verde. Shit's gonna get expensive. It's Trump and his damn tariffs. I should go buy a few cases before it gets too expensive. Still hilarious. Trump is trying to get a new state when PR is there, just lying around. Well, you know why he doesn't want it? If Puerto Rico joins the U.S., while yes, they have, if I recall, a Republican governor. Last I checked, that might have changed. It's been a while. They would lean Democrat. And he doesn't want that because it would skew the electoral college. And then not only that, there would be more votes in the Senate and the House because there would be 2 new senators and however many representatives apportioned to them. I don't know when it comes to Congress, the House, if there would be new seats added in the House or if it would just be proportionally I don't know that part. But when it comes to the Senate, I know 2 new seats. Vinho Verde needs to sponsor you. Well, specifically Casal Garcia. That's my blend. That's my blend. That's my brand. Casal Garcia. Fell in love with while I was in Portugal. It's inexpensive but classy. It cost me $10 pre-tariff. It's probably going to cost me $12 after tariff. I was reading something that these tariffs increasing is going to cost the average American family $4,000 per year. That's insane. And by the way, in the upcoming YouTube video, I get into the tax and tariff side of things. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up the teleprompter over here. Yeah, there goes my disposable income. Tell me about it. Um, hold on, let's see. But instead of addressing those gaps, Trump's okay. So basically, yeah, okay. I was just having to read my script. So I remember I read an article. You know what Trump's goal is, right? He wants a return to the Gilded Age, where the United States mostly derived its taxes from tariffs as well as sin taxes. Alcohol, actually, I think used to bring in about 1/3 of our taxes, if I recall. That was pre-prohibition. Back in the age when we had the robber barons and everything. We tried this policy, and all it did was create a burden on the middle and lower classes. He wants to get rid of the income tax. He's openly said that. Yeah, no more IRS. He's openly said that. Let me pull up my script over here. Hold on. I sourced in my script where it was, because what I do is I make 2 versions of the script for y'all that aren't aware. There is one that I clean up for the teleprompter so I can copy and paste it, and then another one with the citations, so when I go back and look over it, I can see the titles and know the chapters, as well as what articles to link to for the slides. This teleprompter has really, like, improved my workflow and everything. Like, now I can honestly make a video in about, like, 30 minutes of recording time and another, like, 30 minutes to an hour of editing. It used to take me like 5-6 hours for a 15-20 minute video. He's forcing market participants to buy bonds, lowering debt ceiling. 4D chess. The schmuck doesn't even know how to play 2D chess. The schmuck doesn't understand supply chains. And how he's actually burning a lot of his political, capital. Here we go. 1D chess. That would be a line. But yeah. That'd be hopscotch. This was written back in February 20th. Trump wants to abolish the IRS and replace with tariffs. This was in February. So, that's been no hidden secret. There's a reason we switched to IRS taxes. Yeah, after we had the income tax amendment under Woodrow Wilson. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of that schmuck. I think it was Woodrow Wilson that did it. Woodrow Wilson was a racist POS. Let's get that clear. But broken clocks can be right twice a day. Where did I get my new laptop from? My newest laptop is from Tuxedo Computers. I have the Stellaris Slim 15, the AMD version with the NVIDIA GPU. The other laptop that I got, this is the one I'm still tinkering with. The MNT Pocket Reform. Both of these are from Germany. Letting his cronies buy stuff for cheap and then rebuild for optics. Oh, you're welcome, Kipasar. But yeah, it's a great laptop. If you want to get it now, get it now if you're in the US, because who knows what tariffs are going to be. When I bought my laptop, I became aware that apparently laptops are tariff-free from the EU as of when I bought the laptop. I don't know how that's going to go now. It's going to cause a lot of chaos. What we sipping on? Adult juice! Are Makespaces non-profit? A lot of them are. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. I can send you a vegan brownie in the post from London if you want. Adult juice sounds wrong. Well, it's for TikTok, okay? BTW, is TikTok getting banned again, or is it just going to be left alone until another cover-up is needed? I think it's the latter. So there was another extension placed upon the TikTok ban. Here's the thing. Trump needs a win. He needs any kind of a win, as small as it is, because everything he's done has been backfiring in his face. If he allows TikTok to get banned and it doesn't get sold for whatever reason, that's going to look bad on Trump. It means he can't close a deal. So he extended another 75 days, and ByteDance is dragging their feet intentionally. ByteDance is okay with, TikTok being closed down, to be honest. They're like, oh, okay, we'll lose some money on it, but, we've made a bunch of money. Nice knowing you. So the reality is that, what I think's going to happen is it's just going to get extended and extended and extended. Now, there was a nice theory that I heard posited that may explain why this is happening. Meta and all the other companies that were pressuring to get this TikTok ban in place unless they sell never wanted TikTok to actually be banned. They were hoping ByteDance would be pressured into selling the product. The problem is ByteDance called their bluff. Either way, Trump is doing his best to get a win because, if you saw, even Republican-leaning pollsters now are showing Trump is losing favorability. What was it, Rasmussen? Hold on. Even Rasmussen's. Also, ByteDance can't sell it, I think. Isn't there a law against it in China? Something like that, or it's like the algorithm or something that goes on. But yeah. Trump approval rating goes negative. F off, I'm not signing in here. Trump approval rating goes negative with Republican pollster for first time. So as you can see, the disapproval rating is now higher than the approval rating with a Republican-leaning pollster. Rasputin. Look at this. Across the board, he's not doing well. Now, what's shocking is this is the lowest approval rating I have seen of a president in my entire life in their second term this early. Usually, to even get close to these numbers, it's towards the end of their poll. This is worse than Bush. And Bush had the Iraq War. How Donald Trump's approval rating compares to Joe Biden's. Look at this. More people approved of Joe Biden around the same time into his presidency. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Trump. He's basically burned a lot of his political capital. A lot of his own allies are getting pissed off. The Fed doesn't want to lower interest rates because the Fed doesn't just respond to the whims of the president. They look at market pressures, not the stock market. Overall, Trump is pissing off his multi-billionaire buddies because what was it? Elon Musk, I think, lost $12 billion in a day. But yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath in terms of the markets for the foreseeable future and everything. Y'all had it too good for a while and got bored. Well, that's the problem is you had a lot of Americans that really didn't understand just how bad Trump was going to be. And I kept telling, when my libertarian ass is look, normally I vote libertarian, vote Gary Johnson twice in the past. I didn't like Chase Oliver this election. And I said, you know what? I need to vote Kamala Harris this time. Because, yeah. I think it was more important than, trying to get the, third party votes so that we could, get past the minority, party status and everything like that. As someone who had to wear torn shirts for diapers due to economic storms. Yeah, can't understand what the US is doing. The problem is you have a lot of Americans that literally don't understand basic economics. They don't understand the position that we've had in the world for so long. And too many Americans are Amerocentric. What I mean by that is their worldview thinks that the world only needs America. We're the center of the world and everything, but don't understand that there is a whole world outside of our borders. What is your honest opinion of Elon? He's a schmuck. I have not cared for Elon, to be fair, long before he was in politics. I thought he was a little bit full of himself. And my first whiff of, understanding that from my own view, having not understood he was from the PayPal era, when he had X.com and everything like that, was when I found out in 2016 Tesla cars were running entirely as root. And I think it was Keen Security Labs was able to do a remote control exploit of the car and take over the entire car using a cellular connection because the car was running as root for the entertainment system and everything. And everyone lauded him as some genius, and I was like, look, this kind of proves he's not. Because that's like Security 101. What's up, Draco? Don't his rich friends just buy the dip? I thought they like crashes. No. Not exactly. There's a difference between a company dipping and a company crashing. Tesla has been a meme coin, a meme stock for a while that's built on hype. It's got 117 PE, profit earning ratio. You can learn cybersecurity, ham radio, and Yiddish terms of endearment on the same stream here. The reality is Tesla's been overvalued for many years, and many people, not just myself, but those that actually know finance have been saying this for years. He has sold unicorns and fairy dust dreams for years, and apparently this is what he did back when he had X.com, which was merged into PayPal or something like that, and he got fired from PayPal. His skill has always been that he's had money. First with his family's money, now with the money he's, gained from his few of his grifts and everything. And I need you to understand this. You know what the very first Tesla is that Elon actually basically had designed. Because there are other Teslas came in from the founders that actually founded the company before him. He had to sue to become a founder. The Cybertruck is the first Elon-designed car. It's not legal in a lot of the EU. It's 3 times the cost of what he said it was actually going to be. And if I were in Elon's shoes, I would have never come up with the Cybertruck idea. It would have been like a funny meme thing. Let's do it April 1st and then that. He took, what was it, like $25 million or so of people's money for the Tesla Roadster that still hasn't materialized several years later. People put like $250,000 deposits down on these cars. The Tesla Roadster, that was the hot car everyone wanted. It was sleek. It was sexy. It was fast, The new Roadster was what people were actually looking forward to get. I think they've only managed to sell 46,000 Cybertrucks. It's officially one of the biggest flops in auto history. Not to mention, every single Tesla Cybertruck has been recalled because the panels had the wrong kind of glue. Let me repeat that. The Cybertruck isn't welded together with its panels. It's not even tack welded. It's glued together. The revolutionary steel that he was talking about, that's supposed to be able to withstand hot temperatures on re-entry that's used in SpaceX rockets, is glued on to the damn car. You didn't know that, Clippy? Meanwhile, Edison Motors is getting ready to start a third configuration and head into prelim production. Oh, I love their idea. Edison is the one that actually has like a generator or something built into there, correct? That it's actually I think Edison Motors was the one that one of the some of the truck guys were talking about on TikTok and everything. I think Canadian company, if I'm not mistaken. It looks solid, if I remember, because that was the one I'm thinking of. Let me see what's on the YouTube. Oh, the car shop for Matilda. Yeah, I've seen that meme. Edison has been cool. I hope it goes somewhere. Every car can become an EV. They offer retrofit kits. Like, dude, let me put it this way. If I could somehow get a 67 Charger and retrofit 4 motors for 4-wheel drive on a 67 Charger, just shut up and take my money. Edison is using a 4-cylinder motor as a generator to power a rack of batteries, which provides the instant torque and increased tow capacity. That'd be sweet. Meanwhile, you heard that Tesla semi-trucks got another delay, and they're proposing a dramatic price increase. And the EU doesn't drive trucks, so it wouldn't sell here either. An electric SUV would have been better. Well, the Cybertruck is supposed to be kind of like a pickup truck. You do have pickup trucks. Let's make that clear. But it's a 7,000-pound truck. It's not legal in the EU. Now, I've seen the Volkswagen pickup trucks. That pickup truck, the Volkswagen pickup trucks, they look nice. I think VW makes a nice pickup truck. I don't like these monster pickup trucks that we've had. Yep. All right. Give me a second, because I got to use the bathroom, and then we're going to switch gears, and we're going to stay and hang out and talk tech and everything like that. But I want to get on Path of Exile, so bathroom break. All right, give me 2 minutes for a bathroom break. I'll be right back. That wine just went right through me. Alright, we're back. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where, we go in the future and everything like that, with everything going on. Let's see, got to do a little sound test over here. Alright, let's see, make sure the sound is working right.
Front, left. Front, right.
Okay, for some reason I am not hearing the audio over here. Oh, unplugged the wrong thing. Let's reset that again.
Front, left.
There we go. Nothing like unplugging and plugging the mixer in to get it working again. Alright. And let's see what Path of Exile's done to improve their shiz. Path of Exile 2. Hopefully they actually added some weapons and everything. I've really been enjoying Path of Exile 2. Although next month we will definitely be playing the new Doom that came out. Gotta get rid of that little overlay over there. I forgot about that. Hold on. Ow. That was a little loud. We're not doing the YubiKey giveaway anymore, and that is apparently still up. Let me make sure I got that out of here. Streaming tools, overlays. Bottom right, top left. Hold on, how do I delete this? Follower goal. Nope. There we go. Oh, remove that. What is my shirt? System 76. Oh, do I need to, make a new recommended league for new characters to play in a fresh item economy? Okay. Oh, so we don't have all the classes yet. Mercenary, Witch, Huntress.
Feral Asmirian, expelled from your mountain.
Give me a spear if they want blood. I will show them.
Wild of mine. Pagan, you failed to liberate your brothers, just as you have failed in poisoning my subjects against me. Call out to your dreamer. Let us see if he answers.
Hold on.
Recapture the pagan! Don't let him escape!
Okay. Is this the original start? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's see what's new in this game. So they have you start with a whole new character, which is kind of annoying. I feel like we start on a new bank.
Dreamer's will. I have another chance.
You're the first ones. You're alive.
Nope.
I'm glad to see another Lamillo. Now, I would appreciate it if you could...
Looks like we start with the same thing.
Reach Clearfell. Find
Okay, so we still start out with the,
I will see about this Miller.
same thing and everything. I haven't played as the Huntress, though. I probably should. At some point. I always hate when you start out, it's just like slow, because all you can do is go whack, whack, whack. I wonder what new things we get in Dawn of the Hunt, but is this game still, pre-release? Like, how are they doing it now? Okay.
Power. But at what cost?
Okay, so let's, okay, so we got Falling Thunder. I remember that skill. Oh, I gotta clear out some more stuff, I guess. Search for Miller and go in Clearfell.
Effective.
Oh, it needed me to actually use the skill? Annoying.
Feel the shock!
Am I gonna level up anytime soon? I'm almost there, 60%.
My training continues.
Hooray! Okay, cool. So at least now I've got a little bit of a shield.
Creature.
I feel so weak. Because I just started out. Of course, you don't get any good treasures, and I don't know, I kind of don't understand why they have you start with the whole new Dawn of the Hunt without, like, having your actual character. Because I'm like, what's the point of, like, playing your other characters for so long? I still haven't,
Feel the shock!
I still haven't gotten all the way through on my other characters, because I kept getting stuck on the, warrior, and I was trying to work up my monk, and then, yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's at least see if we can clear out as many of these guys as possible. Get some experience points. Maybe some better armor. Okay, so I think that clears out this area, so now we can move on to the besieged encampment. Rollin', rollin', rollin'. Rollin', rollin', rollin'. Rawhide.
Is that?
Oh yeah, my mana doesn't recharge as fast. Come on, you bastard.
Lightning!
I'm lagging because of the network. The servers are kind of overloaded right now because everyone's wanting to play. Hooray!
Skill always beats raw strength.
There we go. Okay. So now we're in.
Please come inside.
Now we're in the Clearfell encampment. So I'm betting if I go to my stash, I won't have any of my items.
How have the Ezamites fallen this far?
Renly's the name.
See, the server's a little laggy because it's still loading cells.
I'll smith for you what I... There's a bit... Now, if you could channel your violence against this devourer, as Finn calls it, we'd be indebted to you.
The discipline of the forge has taught him strength.
Get my stuff refilled. Yep, stash is completely empty.
Welcome to the camp. This may all some. I fear this land's sickness. I like to hold on to bits and pieces. It's beautiful.
Yep, so I'm going to have to rebuild my wealth. And that's going to take quite a few games. Wait a minute. This map is laid out totally different. Because now we go to Clearfell. Before we used to have to go to a different area. Yep, Path of Exile 2. Playing the new, Dawn of the Hunter thing. Yeah, it's a really great game. I really wish they would have added the expansion on, like, as an end game kind of thing. Because it feels like this is going to be a whole new kind of game thing based on the map we're going through right now. I need to get a staff of some kind that can let me, like, shoot fire bolts, because that's what I did really well with. A staff to shoot flames. Yeah, I just gotta, like, work my way through while I get some... Yeah, I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. Yep. I gotta level up just a little bit more.
Another
okay.
milestone on the endless path.
Scary lady, creepy voice she gives off. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing they were going for.
Kill them.
So they're reusing a lot of the enemies I saw them using. I don't want to use these on that. I do want to get a staff, though. I kind of want to, like, finish the original end game, but... Nice. Okay, we still got plenty in the inventory to go round up some some loot.
Feel the shock.
Keep forgetting I have the wall of fire now. But my mana's not recharging that fast yet until I get some other items. But I still gotta, like, be mindful of that. So there's Grellwood. So it's kind of the same things, but it feels like the map is laid out just slightly different than what I remember it. I just gotta get a staff that lets me shoot some bolts or something. I mean, the staff's okay for like a secondary weapon, but not the kind of build I was liking. I'd have a ranged attack and then a up in your face. Only 38% there. Oh, we gotta go to the Mud Burrow entrance. Okay, we at least found a waypoint and a checkpoint. There's the Mud Burrow. Okay. Alright, where are we at? 50%? I'm still not powerful enough for her. US stock Monday morning gonna drip harder than Titanic Hong Kong's Hang Seng stock. Index plunges 9% in opening mint. Yeah. Trump's gonna be in for a world of hurt when he realizes, like, the wealthy are not gonna be on his side after this shit. Got spears, crossbows, axes, maces. Still don't understand how we don't have sword weapons yet. Quarterstaff weapons. I need level 6 to get that. So I guess we'll get some sparks going. Okay, so let's use the checkpoint to at least see if we can take her on again. If not, the map is going to reset. And then we got more bad guys to clear out so I can level up again.
Invader!
God damn it. Hey, Jessica, how's it going? We're trying the new Path of Exile out after we hung out for a little bit. Talking tech. Watching our stock portfolios die. Not die, but just get wounded. There we go. I mean, it's something. Okay, inventory. Hold on. This is it. Skills panel. That's what I needed. Okay, so we're gonna move freezing shards. And then okay, so that's gonna go there. And then Falling Thunder should go there. It's something. I'd rather have fire bolts. Yeah, I am definitely not a fan of ice. I finished this one, then finally. Oh, the wine? Nice. Okay, we are at 80%. Banging head on table. Why is Windows Server so overly complicated? I have been asking that for years. Okay, so it looks like the spears are definitely more common. Okay, so we're gonna move Falling Thunder to there, because I keep hitting the wrong button. And I think I normally have Flame Wall mapped to R. Wait, what's up in this corner? I watched 5,000 disappear over 3-ish months from one account. Yep. I know, I looked at the US stocks for 19 minutes. Yeah. It's gonna be a painful few months, but, my financial planner's saying in 5 years, we'll probably be fine.
Shock!
Let's see if we can get one more level out of some bad guys.
Depraved wretch.
Okay, so mana regeneration. But then even more shield. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough few years at least. But it's not like we didn't tell people, hey, if you vote for this schmuck, this is what's gonna probably happen. We did.
Hello. Please, take your time.
Level 2 lightning bolt, level 1 lightning bolt, level 1. None of these. Do what I was hoping.
Oh, I like this one.
I got my Dolly Parton Chardonnay singing 9 to 5. Yeah. All right, so let's go back. Probably gonna have to do this a little bit more. I do not like the fact that this wand does ice. Just not an ice mage. I think I got GPU drivers updated and everything fixed. That was a headache. What was your issue? Did they use pre-graphics, I wonder, like the old RTS style? What? In the, this? That art style is such a vibe. Oh yeah, it's got a really great design. Like, I like this better than Diablo. This out Diablo 3 and 4.
Creature.
I guess those shards are shooting off screen and hitting them.
Feel the shock!
I need to get some items that let me regenerate my health. Yeah, there's just a couple of items that seem to be missing. Path of Exile 2. Mismatched things on the Linux side, so I had to delete old ones, reinstall new ones. That'll happen. Wait, does the waypoint re-heal you? Neat. Okay. So let's see if I now have enough power to take her on.
Invader! Be still! Be still! Be still! Be still!
Totally aimed at the wrong direction. Oh, goddamn, ice bakes.
Lightning!
Swell!
I'm doing just slightly better. Except for that lag.
Swell! Feed! Swell! Be still!
Yeah, I was lagging really bad. Y'all saw that. That's the network. That's on their side. Alright, so now it seems to have smoothed out a little bit. Nope. Spoke too soon. Yeah, it's just lagging a little bit too much. Yeah, see that? It says jumping all around. And you can even see it in my character and how he's running sometimes. Well, I got to get in the habit of using my electric sparks. Alright, let's go back to the portal. The bad part about people, Linux is people gatekeeping games. Not really gatekeeping games, it's the kernel level anti-cheat that's stopping it.
Sorry, I was just... I've collected these over time. I will treasure it. Stay safe, if you can.
What's the name of the tool that measures the frame rate? There's several different tools. This one's built into the game. When I just press F1.
Hello. Ben makes fun of my collection. Oh, I like this. Bye.
Alright, let's go back. Yeah, I don't like how these fan out, those little things. Oh, waypoints do healed you. Good to know. You have to clear this map just a few more times to level up, or at least get some good loot. Because there definitely is no way I'm going to clear out the mud barrel if I can't clear out that little witch. The only reason I went so fast than the others was, I had items from my barbarian that I got further on in the game with. And I feel like it's easier in the beginning of the game to be a warrior than it is to, later on in the game, it kind of bites you in the butt. All right, let's see.
Invader!
Shit. I am out of life potions.
Need more mana.
Damn. Alright. Did a little bit better. Yeah, I think I know why I did better was I had a Ember Staff that I happened to pick up early on in the game, and that let me catch things on fire, whereas this just lets me freeze them. And she might have a resistance because she's an ice witch. And fire, of course, lets you catch things on fire so they can do continual damage. And I prefer lightning and fire magic. How the hell did I just die? Oh, and there's a little bit better armor. There we go. Getting them on fire. This bitch is on fire! That also might have been another reason why I wasn't doing as well. I didn't have armor. Yeah, I still don't have a belt, rings, and an amulet. That's fine. Okay, so we've got a little bit better of a shield. That's good. Still don't have that much gold. You play D&D and tabletop RPG? No, I unfortunately don't because, well, I never really had friends that were into that shit. I'd rather have the maximum life. I decided nobody's gonna do it, might as well DM and force my friends to play. Yeah, I never had any friends that were really interested in it because, most of my friends growing up were jocks, and I just haven't had any friends that invited me over to do any of that shit. Okay, so now let's see what we can do about this. Wait, I can allocate spirit? Huh? I was a little confused by that. I'm like, I'm not sure you could.
I've collected these over time. Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, I'm only level 4.
May it fill your heart.
Okay. Hey, Red-bearded Viking, how's it going? Right now, we are seeing my ass get handed to me in multiple ways in this game.
Invader!
Oh, come on! Damn it, it's right there! Grabbing my GPU and CPU, and I can play at higher graphic settings. Yeah, I got a 5950X and a 3070. The issue isn't really...
Estelle!
Feel the shock!
Finally! I won't stand for this canine violence. They're dead! They're already dead! I just sent them back to hell.
Hello. I've collected these over time. What do you think? Another for my collection. Thank you.
Level 1 freezing shards.
May it serve you well. Stay safe, if you can.
Augments a normal item to a magic item. Let's give a magic item a new modifier. Then let's switch that to that. And now, where with all the Matrix ones and O's? This couldn't possibly Linux. Wait, what? I prefer a firebolt, but this'll do. Okay, so now that we've cleared that area, we can probably go to the mud barrow and do all right.
A foul lair for a foul creature.
I just gotta pick up all this junk so that I can sell everything. Slug maggots. Yeah, see, this is much better than the freezing staff. So if I move... Oh, I thought I was casting slower because I moved. I think it was just the network spiking when that happens. Sweet. They were slowly getting a little bit more powerful. Yeah, now I'm really about lightning right now. +7 to magic intelligence. +7 to intelligence. Gives a 9 Alright, I'll have to figure that out later. Oh, we're in the Vile Nest already? Yeah, they really moved the map around because I was not expecting to be here this early. Good thing I had the helmet on then, I guess.
Nightmares have no power against the light.
Sweet. 1 to 18, 1 to 11, lightning damage, fires 4 projectiles. I guess we'll upgrade that. Improves the quality of an armor. At least we got Thorns damage. I guess we can clear out the rest of this nest. really don't like the fact that it gave me warrior items. I need... Am I gonna have to do this boss again? Just to get some class-specific items.
Savor the feast.
Alright, we got some magical enemies, and then I still didn't get any good loot. Alright, up the shield just slightly. Now where are we at? A flesh larva. That's what I'm gonna refer to kids from now on. Flesh larva. You can kind of see when these enemies pop out. It's kind of interesting. Pay attention, like there. Hey, hey, Barack. You're gonna knock over my wine glass, you dick. Hey, a good dog. Hey, a good dog. Problem is, this dog's learned that he's too cute.
I must maintain a fine balance.
Okay, so let's get rid of our items here.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. How do we want to do this?
Yes. These are just
Fire
some odds
sell
and ends of mine.
items.
Ancient power.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell that because that's not even
Accept.
class specific for me.
It's beautiful. I accept.
Bone blast. Oh, there we go.
That one spoke to me as well.
Cool.
I like to hold on to bits and pieces. Any that catch your eye. Stay safe.
All right, let's go to the stash.
Sorry, I was just...
All right.
Dissipate!
I wonder if I go out and then come back. I love how similar people talk. Stop being a dick. You're a good dog. He's a dick. Good dog. Travel through Grell. Okay. I find it interesting the dead guys have more health apparently than the wolves. This goddamn lag is killing me. Yay.
Lightning!
Okay, so the staff's a little bit better now. Gaming router and the leg. No, gaming router ain't gonna do anything. Especially seeing as the firewall I have and I'm hardwired is much better than what that is. You do understand my firewall has an 8-core Intel Atom CPU with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, gaming routers ain't gonna do shit. This is all on their servers. It's overloaded right now because everyone's playing the game. Alright, so where are we at right now? Okay, so we're trying to get to Grellwood. Yeah, see, the latency is popping up really high at times. But we'll see how much further we can get in a half hour. Lag or not. Let's talk to Renly for my reward, that's right.
Now this won't come.
Oh, nice. Lightning bolt. Okay, so we got that. PF sense, open sense, or something else. It's PF sense.
I've collected these over time. I will treasure it. Stay safe, if you can.
I got PF sense, and then there's Cat 6A shielded run throughout the entire house, behind Unify switches.
Hold up a moment. Here to hunt, are you? That makes two of us. See that there? Don't worry. It means for... Ready? Go on then. Try and keep up. Don't lose sight of it. Oi, let's get away. Stay on it. Now or never. Push on.
Your stag touched.
Don't let up.
Unify makes decent switches and access points, but
Rather flare. It's getting stronger.
their firewalls feel like they are lacking.
Finish it. That were a good hunt. Aye. If we're running off of them, keep your wits about you.
Have a good deal. Dell Precision Tower. 99 bucks, not bad. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, this... Now the game's starting to be a little bit different. How's the Dream Machine? I haven't personally used it. I've deployed it for a few clients. It's just missing a lot of security features that I'd like to have. Having used my PFSense firewall in terms of IDS and IPS. See, the firewall would make it easier because then I can actually shoot bolts through the flame walls, and that's why I am not doing the damage that I normally do. Normally I set up a wall and then shoot projectiles right through it, but these don't count as projectiles. Okay. So now we've connected these areas. Alright, so...
Creature.
Got my first new supercharger power plug. Whoa. Screen says supercharger, not fast charging, and makes a new sound. Wait, what kind of phone do you have?
What foulness dwells here?
So the maps are kind of the same. Alright. Now, let's go back to town. Z Fold 6. Z Fold 6's track can't even use Dex without pop-up of overheating closing apps. You should get the Pixel Fold 9. That's an expensive phone. The folds look interesting, but I'm not a fan of folding phones just because, well, yeah. Okay, so supported attacks gain do less fire and lightning damage, but I use fire and lightning. Concentrated effect. Falling thunder. As lightning damage. Petrol charge. For 5 seconds on killing a shocked enemy. Spark. Projectiles from supported skills pierce an enemy. Projectiles from supported skills deal 20% less damage if they've pierced an enemy. Huh? 20% chance more to shock. Quarterstaff strike. Oh. A good 1U rack-mounted firewall appliance to look for. PF Sense makes one with a rack accessory that works pretty well. I'm probably going to be upgrading to that after and to reclaim my super micro super server. Okay, so it does area of effect damage, which is good. Don't have any rune items.
Sorry, I've collected these over time. Another for my collection. Thank you.
Now that scepter gives me spirit, so that's how I get spirit.
Another for my collection. Thank you. Stay safe if you can.
Okay. Now, let's go to the Grellwood. So the lightning deals area of effect.
Foul creature.
That's good to know. Whereas the fire will just burn, baby, burn.
Lightning.
Just go and burn now, burn, baby, burn. We can add one more modifier. Okay, so we're slightly faster and a little bit... I think Elon is better at this game than you. No. In terms of actually playing the game, no. In terms of his stats as a character, probably, because he's paying someone to do this 24/7. But you know that he couldn't, figure out a lot of the basics of this game and, you know, the items and stuff. It was interesting, because, like, he's like, well, this item's higher level. I'm like, no, you can have lower level items that are, better than some of the higher level items. Yeah, I'm probably better at this game than him, but in terms of, like, raw, like, what he probably has in his character, no.
A remnant of the old magics.
What happened here? This shade. There is a battlefield menu. I'll wait here. The old magics will protect me.
Yeah, I remembered there was a reason why I was like, don't go in there right now, because we still gotta do something. I gotta run all the way. Yeah, it's gotta be embarrassing to, you know, have to be such a schmuck that you need to have other people think that you're this hot shot at a game or anything. I mean, it's okay to suck at a game. I do. You saw how many times I died against the basic boss. I had some schmuck try to troll me the other day. That's like, I don't have any issue with what Elon's doing, and I'm like, he can do whatever he wants. It's the lying about what's going on with it. Ooh. Forgot this boss.
Not tarry if the trees here behave like that.
Energy shield of... Okay. Elemental... Huh. Cool. Okay, yeah, that's got plenty of, heal. Alright, cool. We're slowly improving our dude, just
Yes.
slowly.
Please, take your time. Another for my collection. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's a great game. It definitely requires some effort, to say the least.
Bye.
Okay, so I think we're almost at level 6 where I can start playing with my new staff. God damn, that lag was bad.
Feel the shock!
Okay, we've got the red veil over there. Oh yeah, that shield is a nice addition.
I need mana!
Alright, let's go back to there. And we're going to... I have a 13th Gen i7. Should be more than enough with a decent GPU. I'm on a 5950X with the NVIDIA 3070. A faster mana regeneration rate. There we go. 3 enemy... 3% of maximum life on kill. There we go.
Yes? I've collected these over time. What do you think?
And give me an Intel Arc A770. That should work.
I like to hold on. It's beautiful. I accept.
Alright, let's see what I like more. If I like my flamey bolts. Oh yeah, this is more my speed. You see how it supercharges that? That's what I was looking for. And it sets them on fire. This bitch is on fire! Bungle zombie. That's what I called my ex. You were nasty. Okay, the shield's recharging a little bit faster too, I noticed. Alright, let's go to the Tanglewood. Bring Tangle. Since we didn't die, we should be clear. It is kind of nice that these boots at least make me move a little bit faster. Let's at least try to clear out this dungeon tonight.
I won't be getting through here. For now.
Oh. Right. I forget. We have to go to the Red Veil. So it's more or less the same game, just kind of reorganized some of the stuff, apparently. I really think they should have just added in some of the stuff, but then again, like the dude with the forest, I guess that wouldn't have made sense to. Okay, so now we gotta make our way to the Red Veil. That's on Netgate 6100 with 10 gigabit Ethernet. Well, unless you got 10 gigabit Ethernet, it doesn't really make a sense for yourself. Oh wait, you're talking about the Netgate. I thought Netgear. It works pretty well. I think that's actually the model I was looking at for myself. Even though I'm only on 1 gigabit Ethernet, but what I did is I aggregated the links. Come on. There we go. Obelisk of Rust.
The old ways still hold some power.
The ruined girdle. Hadn't thought about network gear in a while. Oh, I think about it all the time because that's part of my, well, it was part of my job before I got into cybersecurity as deep as I am.
Yes. I like to hold on to bits and pieces. Any that catch your eye? Oh, I like this one.
Cool. Alright. We're slowly getting there. Slowly.
There's the obelisk.
The rune on the buckle means unity or safety from harm. We had to go through a lot of harm to get this. Mint? Nope. Pop OS. Alright. Did not see that dude there. Alright, let's cross the bridge, I guess.
Shock!
You get EAC issues when games running it. It depends on if they enabled easy anti-cheat inside of Linux. But when I play things like Halo, no. That's more of a developer issue than a game console's issue. Little tactical retreat. But like games like this have worked since day zero. I haven't had any issues playing Path of Exile, other than the occasional network lag, which isn't a fault of the game, but their servers. Which is why I have the stats pulled up. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, you can see it. Trying to load PoE because of you. Sorry? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this information. You made me play a game I'm gonna enjoy. You damn dirty bastard. Alright, we got another obelisk over here. What's up, Aaron? How you been? Wondering because I'm slowly learning my way on Linux. Gaming on Linux is fine. It's more just the kernel level anti-cheat issues of some games. But if those games are running kernel level anti-cheat, I wouldn't really want to play them, period.
Yes.
like
collected
Windows or not.
another for my collection. Thank you.
All right,
Stay
let's go to the
safe,
stash.
if you can.
Played a ton of Diablo 3. I haven't played Diablo 3, but I played Diablo 4, and I enjoyed that game for the most part. But Path of Exile 2, I enjoy way more.
Thunder!
All right. Okay, so which way do I need to go now? Is it this way?
Meet the dreamer!
God damn. Why was that dude so tough? Ah, it's a talking mangina. His name's Old Greg. In the first PoE because it's free. Yeah, the second one is still early access, but I enjoy it. I haven't played the first one at all, to be completely honest. But you know what? I don't regret it. Plus 11 maximum life. Hooray! Smack that, get on the floor. Smack that, give it some more. Oh, there we go. There's the obelisk. come on.
I must maintain a fine balance.
Sweet. All right. Elemental. And now we've got the fusillade. Ever watch Mythic Quest? I have not. Augments a rare item with a modifier. Oh. Oh, nice. Regeneration and everything. Thoughts on the Minecraft movie? Haven't seen it. Nor do I really have plans to see it.
Hello. I've collected these over time. What do you think? It's beautiful. I accept. It's beautiful. I accept. Goodbye.
Okay, cool. So now, bring the runes to Renly for forging.
There's
Oh,
the
wait.
obelisk.
Yeah, I'm starting to get my fire on. And okay. Hey, we got an amulet. 2.2 life regeneration per second. Nice. Got a Targe. Okay, so 3 life per enemy killed. Um, 3% faster start of energy shield recharge. Gain 5% of extra cold damage. Up the shield and evasion. See, now I'm getting back into my flow of how I used my monk. Play any 40k games? I played a few 40k games. There was the Space Marine game. There was, yeah, I've got a few. Can't remember which ones, all of them, but I've played quite a few. Power Watch Simulator. I used to play that when I was really, really stoned years ago. There's a 40k version. Power washing for the glory of the Emperor, I take it.
I carry few possessions, and I don't have for that.
Alright, let's go back to town.
Hello. Finn makes fun of my collection. I will treasure it.
Area spike, I would ask.
Alright, let's at least use the spikes.
Tool to break what binds.
Alright, so let's go to the Grellwood.
You have them. Stab them into the rune. Goodbye.
boss that comes out here? I can't remember.
He's unconscious, but he's...
Okay, so, what's the last word? Can't. Yeah.
The wound, only by accounts, the grim tan. I like to hold on to bits and pieces. Bye.
Alright. Well, it is getting late, and I do have to work in the morning, unfortunately. So, thank you all for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on all of my socials. I am on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch. There will be a new YouTube video coming tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, make sure, if you haven't already, join the Discord and the Matrix servers as well. There's links in bio if you're over on the TikTok side and the YouTube sides, but the links are there also for the Twitch and YouTube people in chat. Otherwise, I will see you Tuesday for the next stream. And just so you know, Thursday and Sunday, there will not be streams this week because Thursday, I've got a local tech meetup I'm going to. And then the following stream after that on Sunday is the second night of Passover. So I will be at Seder. But I will be back on Tuesday. That also means there's no movie night this week as well because first night of Passover. So I will see you all. And if I don't see you on Discord, then I will see you on next stream and maybe in the next video or stuff. Love y'all. Happy hacking. Stay safe and stick around for the raid if you're over on Twitch.